Morning guys, welcome back. Sterling in for you here. A few things I want to show you. Let's look at some, I want to show you some sort of measured targets now that we've broken out and pushed considerably to the upside out of this triangle, this right angle triangle that you can see here. So this is a daily chart, and the low on this particular candle, this blue candle here, where we had a absolutely huge range from a low of 140.30 all the way making a high of 146.80 and to actually close pretty much bang on the high at 146.70 and then continue to the upside. So we went from 140.35 all the way up to the high here of around 154, and then we retraced all the way back down to a low of 146.50 and then pushed to the upside, and then we were consolidating in this triangular pattern here. This is throughout the course of April. We have been testing for the last 5 days, testing and seeing some volatility around this area, and we finally pushed through yesterday. So let's just have a look at some potential measured targets, and actually just before that, let's just have a look at when the last time we were at this level was, because just to give you some longer term perspectives on these some of these sharp moves that we've seen, whilst they look sharp in comparison to where we've been trading over the last day, week or month, we need to have a look at a longer term perspective. So if you look at these two previous peaks back from middle of 2009, they were coming in at 162.5. So if the uptrend is going to continue, then potentially that's where your key resistance level is if this downtrend is to be broken. But anyway, that's 6 big figures away. So let's just come back into the triangle that I was showing you here, and let's just take some measured targets here. I'm going to use two tools. One of them is the fib projection, which is this one here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the low of I'm going to look at the impulsive move. So I'm going to take the low from here up to the high there, like that, and bring it down to the correction that we saw, and you can see that we have already broken above the 61.8 Fibonacci projected target that was coming in at 154.88, and we have a 100% projected target of 160. Let's call it 160 the figure. This is longer term stuff here I'm looking at, so let's just call it 160 the figure. Now if I just delete that 1 second there for you, and let's have a look at, let's do it again, but let's actually take a look at the triangle. Now if you look at this high here of 148 the figure, which we subsequently retraced all the way back down to 138 the figure, you track across and you see that the close and the open of this candle, the body was exactly the same level. So I'm going to take a target from here up to the height of the triangle, which is pretty much 153 153.80, something like that, and then I'm going to move it across to the breakout level which we saw yesterday, and you can see that the 100% projected target there also is pretty much 160 the figure. So should the uptrend continue, you got a 100% measured target of 160 the figure now on sterling yen. Let's just have a look at what is key support and what must hold for the trend to continue. Well, obviously you've got the breakout level of the triangle coming in at 153.80, and that, as time goes by, will probably be at similar levels to, well, over the next sort of day or two, at similar levels to the upward sloping trend line from the low that we've seen here back on the 16th of April of 146.5 up to where we are at the moment. So that's key. A very strong level needs to hold. But let's just flick over to, let's have a look at the hourly chart and show you this. So we've got this very clear upward sloping trend line. This is very short term. It's from yesterday's move pop to the upside. If we take the most recent impulsive move on a shorter time frame over the course of this week, from the low that we saw at 152.70 up to the high that we've seen at 156.50, which is today's high, you can see that the 38.2 fib retracement comes in at 155 the figure, and I'd say probably a little bit more importantly, the 61.8 retracement, that must hold. it comes in at 54.15, so obviously it's two big figures away. But as I said, you know, this is sort of medium-term stuff here I'm looking at. But it was a previous high there. That's why this is the reason why I'm looking at 154.15 as a more of a key level. And you know, sterling yen moves around quite a lot, so let's give it some room. So it was a previous high. It's the 61.8 retracement level of the most recent impulsive move to the upside. Interim before that, we have got this high that could provide support as well, which comes in at 154.80. So I'd say whilst we've got pockets and pockets of support and potentially we've pushed out of the triangle, the longer term triangle, we still do need to hold above, you know, comfortably above 154. Flipping back to the daily chart, let's just look at where this line comes in as time goes by. I probably wouldn't expect it to come anywhere near this level today. I mean, it comes in at 153, but as time goes by and we go past this triangle, it's important, you know, we'll be getting up to 154. So the trend is to the upside. The yen weakness we are seeing across the board doesn't seem to be abating, but obviously markets do not move in a straight line, and you can expect corrections all the time. But we're now looking at some key support. I mean, the breakout level was 153.80. So going back to the hourly chart, you can see that 154.15 marginally above 153.80. So this 154 level needs to hold if the uptrend is to continue. But as projected targets here, we are looking at somewhere around the key 160 mark. And just as a quick reminder, the previous high from middle of 2012 was the 162, the figure. So that's going to be key resistance between 160 and 162, the figure, should we get there. Obviously we're at 56.28 at the moment, so we'll have a wait and see. Key support 154 now.